I was doing doing the contract work for the insurance company, I could see this thing called the internet. Everyone was going on about it, and I thought, well, this is going to be quite good. I'll look into that. And I taught myself how to program a very basic website. And I thought, well, what can I do really just as a demo, just to then get another job programming a website. And I'd seen David Blaine, the street magician, and he'd done a program. There hadn't been any magic on television for many years in the UK. And then David Blaine did the street magic program when he's literally up to people with packs of cards and things like that. And it's all very close up stuff. And I thought, wow, that's fantastic. And I thought that would make a good product to sell on the internet. So I wrote this, I wrote the code for the website. I found a supplier in the US and initially ordered, I think it was about £200 worth of magic tricks. Got in at the early stage, so I managed to get the domain name of magictricks.co.uk, which helped no end in sort of branding and search engines and things like that. And that site took off. Initially running it from home, then rented a small warehouse, and I bought a warehouse. Did some other websites as well, but it was the magic one that really started things off. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it did very well. And you had that business for quite a long time then.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think sort of how long we did the magic tricks for. Must have been probably about 6 years, something like that. That's after me saying I never had a job for more than 3. But you know, when you're kind of working for yourself, there is all that. Well, you do everything. When you've got a small business, you know, you are accountant, you are programmer, you are, you know, customer service, you are cleaner, you're everything. So I kind of found that was a good way to get that variety that I kind of liked during the day.
So you decided to sell the Magic Tricks site, and then you still continued with e-commerce.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I'd done, you know, the Magic Trick site had done okay. And I'm not from a magic background, but I could obviously, you know, I appreciate the value of customer service and things like that. So, you know, we had a really good reputation, but I thought I've probably taken this as far as I can, not being a magician. And it was getting to the stage where demo videos were coming through and things like that. So yeah, I sold that website, and I went off and I did lots of other websites. I think at one time we had about 16 different websites selling anything from portable PA units to hamster houses, and we sold kitchen knives and laundry balls and all sorts of things, mainly sort of one-page websites.
So was this the kind of test which products were going to work well on the web?
It was really a case of, you know, I'd kind of done it once with the magic, and then I had kind of a formula that worked, so rolled these out with any areas, and Google were providing sort of quite good tools about what people were typing in, what the competition was like, and at those days, in those days, they would rank it very highly. So, for example, the portable PA site, I had the domain name portablepa.co.uk. So anyone looking for a portable public address unit, anyone typing in portable PA, we'd come top. And you know, it was a real simple site. It had the benefits of, I think we sold 2 or 3 PA units. It said, you know, the benefits of them, and you know, offer free returns if you're not happy, that kind of thing. And yeah, so the sites were niche sites, but they did pretty well in the search engines. And yeah, I think we had about 16 different sites at one stage.
And one of those sites you went on to develop. It was to do with shoes, wasn't it? That's right.
Yeah, that was the one. I bought a pair of, when I was backpacking in Australia about 20 years ago, I bought a pair of Converse All-Stars, the baseball boots, and I absolutely loved them. I lived in them, and I sort of chuck them in the washing machine and clean them up, and yeah, loved them. And I struggled to get any in this country. So I contacted the rep, and we got a few shoes, and that really took off. So we were selling just Converse at that stage, and then introduced some other brands as well. And we sold Dr. Martens, we sold Skechers, Rocket Dog, Merrill, loads of brands we had. And that business really went well in terms of turnover.
You were employing some people as well, weren't you?
Yeah, that's where you're kind of trying to scale up your business. And at the time, Amazon were really only selling books, but they sort of started to get into shoes in a big way, and obviously undercutting us. But yeah, you kind of, it's quite an expensive business to get into, the shoe business. So yeah, we had a few staff. Obviously had to hold a lot of stock as well, because with shoes, you don't just have one, you have normally 2 or 3 different colorways of a particular style and all the different sizes in between. The returns rate is quite high as well, because people buy them and they try them on and they're not, they're not the size that they want. We were doing free delivery and free returns as well, which I think was a really good sort of customer point of view. It gave them reassurance. But yes, kind of everything outside. I need a bigger warehouse for it, for example. So yeah, that went well for a time, but it got very, very competitive. So mainly because of the likes of Amazon and other people really sort of upping their game in terms of shoes. And it's it was one of the most competitive industries to be in. So probably maybe not a smart move for me to get in there, but hey ho.
So you got out of that business, and you're now back to how you started, almost doing programming.
Yeah, I've pretty much gone full circle, because I got to the stage, because I came from the sort of IT background. When the shoe site took off, I was finding I was sort of having all the supplier meetings and things like that. And what I actually started off doing, I was end up paying somebody else to do, which was that sort of website stuff, and writing a packing system to pick orders. And I must admit, I found that a bit frustrating when you're trying to explain to somebody else what you want, and you know that you could write it yourself, you just haven't got the time. So yeah, I kind of, as the shoes got more competitive, I decided not to buy any more, and kind of wind the business down, which I'll be honest was a pretty tough time, because don't like laying off staff. I gave them loads and loads of notice. I'm actually sort of still friends with the staff that I employed, but and things like you've got commitments to landlords and things like that in terms of rent and things. So I had to sort of wind that business down, and then kind of look back at kind of what I could easily do. With very little costs, and that's IT. So I kind of got back into the programming. I've done some sort of freelance programming work, and that's what I do now.
What tips can you pass on to other business owners that you've picked up over the years?
Yeah, sure. I think whatever business you're in, you have to put the customer number one. Absolutely, no question about that. Lots of people talk about it. Very few people actually do it. And it kind of gets more difficult as the business gets bigger. When you're a one-man band, you can make the decision, whatever it takes to satisfy the customer. When you start employing people, it can be difficult. I mean, what I've always tried to do is say to any staff I've had, whatever it takes to make this customer happy, do it. If they need a full refund, whatever, don't come to me, just do it. And it just seems that, particularly as businesses get bigger, no one seems to want to own problems. And I think certainly from my own personal experience, if you phone or you email somebody and they say, yeah, I'm going to deal with this for you, and they do what they say they're going to do, it makes such a difference. And I think
you can turn around problems, can't you?
Yeah, and just really look. I mean, no business, whatever business you are, if you don't look after your customers, if you don't have customers, then you won't have a business. And so many people sort of seem to treat the customers almost as an inconvenience or with contempt, and as a hassle. But I think, if you can really drill that in to all layers of the business, and it creates its own momentum as well. You tend to find you have happier staff, and if you've not got customers phoning and constantly moaning, because you haven't sorted out their problem straight away, it just makes a nicer workplace to be in. And obviously, happy customer is a good customer, very likely to tell other people, very likely to come back. So I think, yeah, it's a bit of a cliche, I suppose, that customer is king, but I think far too many people lose sight of that, as I say, particularly as businesses sort of start to increase and you start to employ people.
Yeah, great advice. Thanks, Carl. And so what do you offer now then? So if anybody's interested in what you do, I know you mentioned the coding. So what do you build websites? Yeah,
what I do is I tend to, I do the what they call the back-end programming. So I have no graphic design abilities whatsoever. So what typically happens is I'll normally work with graphic designers. They will send me a website and they say, can you get this to do this? So what I do is the bit where you click the buy it now button or the browse button. So I do the bit behind that actually goes off and reads from a database and things like that. So that's what I do. I've got sort of a few, I've tried to sort of scale it down a little bit. It was getting to the stage, because I am just a one-man band now. It was getting to the stage where I was finding I was being a bit too stretched and I couldn't always deliver stuff to everybody. So I've kind of over the years sort of not taken on too much more work and less, I often turn work down if it's a big project. Lots of people would rip your arm off and say, yeah, I'll have that. But if it's a big project and I don't think I can do it because I don't have the resource to do it, I will say that, yeah, I don't want to waste your time. I don't think I can commit to doing this. And I've made the decision kind of not to outsource anything. I know I could, and I know there are some good programmers out there, but kind of for me, for where I am now, I like to know that anything I do, it's been done by me. So basically,
and to a high standard.
If it's not up to scratch, there's only one person that can be blamed for it. And that works for me. So I have sort of been offered work, and I have sort of turned it down for those reasons, because I've not been in a position where I can deliver the product on time to a reasonable standard, or it might just be skills I don't have. Programming is a big scope. You can learn a lot of skills on the way, but if it's a completely different programming language or something you've never seen before, then there are far better people who can get straight in and do the job, rather than the customer sort of in effect paying for you to get up to speed with it. They are better off going to a specialist with it, and I'd have no problem telling them that, to be honest. So yeah, I typically concentrate on it's a Microsoft platform. It's called .NET. So that's what I do. And it's the back end programming code that I do for that.
Okay. And the voiceovers. So should we need a voiceover for a training?
Yes. Should you need a voiceover? Yeah, you can contact me either Facebook, Twitter, or email. And yeah, do whatever.
Okay. Have you got your contact details?
Okay, contact details. Twitter, I am Carl Fraser UK on Twitter. And weird and wonderful content on there. And if you want to email me, it's carl@carlfraser.co.uk. Yeah, probably one of those two ways. You should be able to get hold of me, no problem at all.
Carl, thank you so much for being with us on the My Business Support Facebook group. Thank you.
No problem at all, Tim. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.